Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well, and today I thought I'd show off my Smalfry Invasion deck tech for the Make Your Own card game. This is a deck centered around the cheap Smalfry characters, which allows us to get going pretty early in the game and attack pretty quickly. It's a pretty great deck if you like fast, aggressive decks, and starting off we've got 3 copies of the regular Smalfry, 2 attack, 2 defense for 2 cost, and as you may notice, we're playing 3 copies of all the different Smalfry in the game currently. And leading into that, we've got 3 Smalfry Messenger. This is going to help us grab our Smalfry characters more easily. Next is Smalfry Warrior, a 4 attack, 0 defense Smalfry for 2 cost. This is our main attacker, so we were going to try to get this guy out, as many copies of him on the field as possible to really pour the damage on. Winged Smalfry can help us with that as well. Not as much attack as the Smalfry Warrior, but it does have evasive, making it hard to get off the field, particularly through combat. Shielded Smalfry is a nice piece of protection for the rest of our Smalfries. If any of the other ones would be knocked out, we can pay 2 to knock out this guy instead and keep our other guys on the field, which is pretty nice. And 4 defense isn't too bad for 2 cost either. Next is Smalfry Wizard, 3 copies of him as well, and we can pay 2 and he'll give each of our Smalfry on the field a +1 attack boost, allowing them to get even more damage off. It's pretty nice. And of course we have 3 copies of King Smalfry to tie the archetype together. 6 costs, but a pretty decent stat line, as well as the ability to give our other Smalfry characters +2 attack. It also has a good ability in Squad Strike, which for 6 power allows us to attack with each of our Smalfry on the turn instead of just one of them. So this is great if we have a board full of Smalfry. We can pay the 6 to get in a lot, up to 5 attacks on our side of the field at once, and really help us close out the game. Only other character we play is Delta Warrior Blitz. This is probably the best 1-drop in the game, with its critical ability to destroy any character it attacks into, and it's just good early pressure in general. Definitely great. We've also got a couple steady shot to help fill in the gaps that Delta Warrior Blitz has trouble with, particularly evasive characters. Even though we have an evasive character ourselves, it's still good to have this as backup. For some more consistency tools, we have 3 copies of Super Coin, just helps us draw 2 cards, as well as a couple copies of reinforcements to help us find certain characters we need. Can even grab us a copy of Blitz if we need to get something off the field immediately. This is helpful for that. Our characters have low attack, so we need some ways to help drop our opponent's defense. Disruptive Wave is the best way to do that. It's just 2 costs to reduce the defense of all our opponent's characters by 2 for the turn. We've also got a couple copies of the Clash Grounds to apply this effect permanently, though it is double-sided, so keep that in mind. Although, it is worth pointing out that most of our characters have low defense anyway, so this doesn't really affect us that much. But it is something to keep in mind of. Next, we have a couple copies of Battle Rush, as well as a couple copies of Meteor Gloves. Sometimes we can't get the king out. These 2 cards allow us to get in more attacks if we can't get our king out to do it. And it is kind of expensive to do, so these 2 are our best for getting additional attacks out. You can put the Meteor Gloves onto the Smalfry Warrior, for example. That's probably your best option. And that does it for the deck. I've also got a couple of cards in the sideboard. These are some other options you could consider including. Prize Grabber is a great tutor. It gets out just about any card in this deck except for King Smalfry, though Reinforcements does that pretty well. Essence of the Supernova is another piece of equipment you could consider for this deck, which gives a character +4 attack, +4 defense, which kind of can help make up for the low stats on your Smalfry characters. This gives them a nice big boost to one of yours. It's pretty great. Gather the Crew is nice, although it's a little expensive, but considering how cheap our characters are, this can be pretty nice to have like 1 or 2 copies of to get us a nice burst of card draw. Revival Ray is a nice card as well. We'll need some ways to get our Smalfries back. They are pretty cheap, meaning they're pretty easy to get off the field, and having something like Revival Ray can help us get those cards back. Scion's Reversal is a nice card for protection as well. Like, we could play our King Smalfry out, and then if our opponent tries to use a removal card to get rid of it, we can use Scion's Reversal to play it, and then we'll end up having to pay the 4 on our next turn, but it's okay if we end up playing King Smalfry on turn 6 and then end up using this to protect it. We'll still have 3 power left over on turn 7, which is just enough to play a Meteor Gloves or a Battle Rush to be able to get multiple attacks, which is pretty nice. And finally, of course, I recommend possibly including a Taunter or 2 in this deck to add some more protection for our King Smalfry. Shield Wall is probably my favorite of these, but you can use any cheap taunt character that you want. And that about does it for this deck. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this deck, definitely leave a like and comment below about what cards you'd put in here. I'll see you in whatever video I upload next, and take care.